Madam Speaker. Tonight I appreciate the comments from both sides. I recognize, perhaps as many of you do in this room, that we want to do right by Iowans. No one will leave tonight more disappointed than the individuals in the balcony. But shortly behind them will be myself and several of you. This bill, I believe, is a step forward, and a big step forward. I would offer that this bill takes 7 steps forward to provide to many Iowans what they don't currently have. Importantly, this bill brings together a task force of individuals from the medical community, from law enforcement, from caregivers, from patients, from experts in the field, far more so than anyone in this room, to make educated, informed recommendations to this body so that we can move forward with a broader ability to help Iowans in need. There's been much discussion tonight about access. To the representatives who say, we've never talked to Minnesota, I'm disappointed to hear their response from the legislators and the hard work that has been put in by many in this room, because we also have spoken to the legislators and the governor's assistants and the producers who have identified there is real opportunity here. And are we prepared as a body to close that door tonight out of the fear that something may not happen? I don't believe that's fair to anyone in Iowa. Importantly, as we consider this debate, individuals have crossed sides, have worked hard with parties on both elements of the spectrum. We are a deliberative body. I do not believe that we should ever have to vote specifically to what letter comes after our name, but what principles we have in our heart and what sense we have in our head. I'm disappointed to hear the gross exaggeration that hundreds of thousands of Iowans would immediately become beneficiaries of this if access was grown here. Talk about false hopes. That's clearly not the case. In a best case scenario, through everything that we've looked at through our analysis, a maximum, including all the categories covered here tonight, would be 800. 800 fellow Iowans. 800 like the young man, Landon, in my son's class canon, who passed away last week from cancer. He could have benefited immensely from this drug. He could have benefited and not spent the last months of his life in inexplicable pain because the state of Iowa does not afford it. Individuals in this room tonight will go home to children who tomorrow could have access to any one of these 7 advantages. Many of us will go home to patients, like my mother, who also is suffering of life-threatening cancer. For her to have access to that here, I think, speaks volumes of what we're prepared to do tonight. I understand that this bill does not go to the full extent that many individuals in this room would like it to go. I equally understand that this bill goes far further than many individuals in this room would like it to go. I can respect both sides. But I ask you tonight, as you look at the green and red button in front of you, are you willing to take that first step forward? Are you willing to identify that there are people who would immediately benefit under Iowa code from this amendment? Do not think for a second that by simply voting no, you've lived to fight another day. you are willfully closing the door on 6 of the 7 individuals. I understand this is a difficult choice, but I would ask you tonight to sincerely consider the opportunity for partnership. Other states still have a long legislative session ahead of them. They have the ability to make partnerships still work. As a father, I would not have entered into this amendment if I did not believe in good faith that this was public policy that could be achieved tonight. This plan would evaluate the patient experience. It would provide access and quality assurance far better than where we are today. And importantly, it would look at the impact of substance abuse by including our doctors, our physicians, and our law enforcement to address the larger challenge of what this bill attempts to address. With that, Madam Speaker, I ask the members to consider their heart and their mind in moving forward on a bill that opens the opportunity